Internet, and welcome back to the final chapters of Ready Player One. We have 3 chapters to cover, and that will finish the story. It's sad, I know, but this is only my first book. We'll be doing many, many, many more. Chapter 0037 starts with Wade walking through the gate and being implanted into the video game Tempest for the Atari. I know absolutely nothing about this video game, but apparently all of these characters did. Parzival says, guys, I'm screwed. I haven't practiced this game in years. I don't know if I can do this. Because what he has to do is he has to beat Holiday's high score. Artemis says, you totally should have known that this was going to be it. The line at the beginning of the quest for the Easter egg is a Shakespeare quote. But it's not just any Shakespeare quote, it's from The Tempest by Shakespeare. Of course it was going to be this game. I've been studying this game for years. What the hell is wrong with you, Wade? Wade's just kind of sitting there like, thanks. Thanks for being a jerk. Thanks. Artemis mentions that there's a bug that he can utilize to get 40 lives. And all he has to do is get above a certain score point and has to die with the score being a specific number in the last 2 digits. I believe it's either 06, 11, or 12. He executes the game's bug and gets 40 different lives. And the 3 other players kind of cheer for him. They're like, yeah, go, Parzival. And so he's trying to get through this game, and he's failing, and he's failing, and he's failing, and he's failing. And his friends say, there's some bad news. There's 18 other Sixers that are in the simulation right now trying to do exactly what you're doing. Parzival's like, shit. Keep on doing this then. And then they tell him that they've been live broadcasting his failures and how he's failed over and over and over again. But no pressure. It's just like, wow, your friends are assholes, Wade. But you just keep on doing it, because you have to get this Easter egg, otherwise evil wins, and I do not want evil to win. He gets the top score, and he keeps on playing the game, and they're like, dude, you can die now. Just die. You're wasting valuable time, Wade. He intentionally dies. There's a screen that says, congratulations, you've beat stage 1. Now on to stage 2. It's just like, stage 2? That's hard enough for him already! He wakes up in stage 2, which is a flick sync of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And I'm like, yes! You have this in the bag, Wade. Do it! He goes through, and his friends are helping him every once in a while with a line here or a line there. All he has to do is give them a visual clue. Because if he says, I need help, the flick sync will count that as an incorrect line, and he'll be deducted points. He gets a text window up, and he asks the status on the Sixers. They're all still in the Tempest, except for one that is 9 minutes behind them. And they all believe that that is Sorrento. And he's like, shit. He finishes the Holy Grail, and he gets placed in the room that is detailed and designed exactly like Holiday's office the last 15 years of his life, which is every computer system ever made arranged in a giant oval. And it takes Parzival a while to figure out that they're all shaped in the shape of an egg. And that's pretty much where 0037 ends. 0038 opens up with Parzival asking his friends for help and them not replying because the communication was cut. He has no contact with any of his friends. And he knows that Sorrento is 9 minutes behind him. So he's going to be in a room just like this one, trying to search for the Easter egg. He tries to turn on multiple different computers, but none of them will operate except for one. I'm gonna screw this up. The one that he operates is the Armsea 8080. And it boots up, and all it says is login. And he tries so many different things. He tries Halliday, he tries Ogden, he tries Kari, he tries Zaphod, he tries everything that he can think of. And then he thinks about how in the autobiography of Holiday, it said that Holiday never was able to really talk to the opposite sex very well, except when he was playing D&D with Kari. He thinks about Kari's D&D name, and he types it in, Luikoshi. And the computer boots up, and all the other computers around it boot up, and everything boots up. All the power starts up. And he goes instantly for the Atari, plugs in the Adventure, and he plays the game until he gets to the Easter egg in Adventure. He finds the gray dot that was the symbol at the beginning of the book, and he picks it up. And underneath the gray dot is an egg-like shape, and it's glowing with light. He moves his little pixel character over, and he touches it, and there's this bright light, and the controller in his hand turns into a silver egg. And he's done it. He's found the Easter egg. He goes for the exit of the office, he leaves it, and he's immediately presented with a spiral staircase to the top of Castle Anarok. And he walks up it with the Easter egg in his hands. And he goes to the top and he puts the Easter egg in the middle of this giant tower. There's another blinding white light, and the wizard Anarok appears in front of him. He sits there for a moment thinking that this is the end of the game, and Anarok says, "You've done it, Parzival. You've beat the game. This is the end." Extends out a hand to shake. Parzival steps forward to shake his hand, and when he does, there's this blue lightning everywhere, and it's spiderwebs all over the place, and all of a sudden, he's shaking Holiday's hands, and he's wearing the cloak and the clothes of Wizard Anarok. Holiday shows Parzival around the top of the tower of Castle Anarok, and he shows him this button behind a bookcase, and it's a comically large red button, and it says OFF. And he says, "If for any reason you should want to destroy Oasis, all you have to do is push this button. But I trust you, Parzival. And I trust that you will do me right and do this machine right." And then he has him look out among the Oasis, and he's checking out his stats, and he's finding out that all of his stats are maxed out, and he's finding even features that he never had or seen before. And that's because everything that Holiday once had before he died in the Oasis now belongs to Parzival. He has control to make any wish that he wants. He has control to oust any character that he wants. He has control to teleport anywhere that he wants instantly. He has ultimate power in the Oasis. Holiday gives Parzival this speech about how the reason he survived in the Oasis so long is because he couldn't hack it in the real world. He pretty much says, "Don't make my mistake. Don't hide out in here forever. Go out in the real world and make lasting connections with people." And then Holiday disappears. Parzival looks out on his land, and he goes down to the entrance of Castle Anarok, where he believes the other Sixers were when he got the egg, and they were just ousted. And he sees all 18 of them standing there. And they all draw weapons to fire at him, but he's fucking Wizard Parzival. You can't destroy Wizard Parzival. And so he wipes his hand in front, and it's kind of like Neo from the Matrix. And he puts red X's over every single one of them, and they all just poof, die. And all of their stuff is just in piles around his feet. And he starts talking with his friends, because now his comm link is back up. And he says, "Did you see that? Did you see what Holiday, the room that I was in? Did you see all of that?" And his friends were like, yeah, we saw everything. That was amazing. And he's like, "Did you hear everything Holiday told me?" And they're like, "Up until, you've won." And then it just kind of cut out. So it didn't tell them about the button or anything else. All of that was just for Wade. He mentions that he could wish for anything. He wishes for all three of his friends to be reinstated back into the Oasis. And Soto shows up, and H shows up, and they're like, "That was amazing." He's like, "What about Artemis? I reinstated her too." And they say, "Well, she's waiting out in the real world to meet you." And he's like, "Oh." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, I better log out." And then they're like, wait, we have stuff to show you, because this is amazing. And they start up a newsfeed in front of him. And it's Sorrento getting arrested for the murder of Daioto and the attempted murder of Wade Walt. Like, holy fuck, that's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm swearing so much in these past 3 videos, but holy shit, that's awesome. Sorrento is escorted to a car to take him to prison, and the whole time he's smiling. Parsifal, Soto, and H are assuming that he's smiling because he believes that he has enough money to hire lawyers and buy his way out of anything that the law will throw at him. And then H reminds Parsifal that they do too. And it's just awesome! And that's pretty much how chapter 0038 ends. 0039 opens with Parsifal logging out of the Oasis and Ogden standing there at the entrance of his cubicle and Ogden giving him a big old hug. She's like, oh, give me the feels. Ogden offering his lawyers to help him. Wade's like, that's great and everything, but where's Artemis? Ogden says, she's in the middle of my hedge maze, waiting for you. But don't worry, it's really easy. You'll figure it out in no time. And so Wade goes to the hedge maze, and it takes him a few minutes to realize that the hedge maze is the same maze from Adventure. He gets to the center of the maze, and there's Artemis with her back to Wade. And he walks up slowly, she turns around, but her head is down. She's not facing him yet. But he can see her face, and he instantly falls in love all over again. And Artemis slowly pans up and finally looks him in the face, and he says, oh my god, you look just like I imagined you would. You are beautiful. And she looks at him in the face and she says, oh my god, you look just like I imagined you would. You look but ugly. I'm like, yes! And they both laugh at it. They both joke about, the plans that they were having to do with their money. With the money when they won. Wade lets out the L word again. He just says, I love you. And I wanna puke. It's just like, but I get it. It's the end of the book. They have to have the romantic ending and everything. It's just like, meh. He sits there and he says, I'm going to take it as slow as you want. I just want to be with you for as long as I possibly can. He holds her hand. It ends with him saying that he has no desire to log back into the Oasis ever again. And that's the end of Ready Player One. I will have a non-spoilery review for you tomorrow. But first, I have to answer yesterday's question, which is, would revenge ever stop you from your goals, and why? Now, if it had been me, I would go for my goal first. If revenge was not my goal, I would go for the goal first, then go back and get my revenge. Just because I know that revenge is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And it's something that I can get way, way, way down the line. I don't care. If I have a goal that I'm going towards and revenge is trying to get in my way, I'm going towards the goal. I can go for revenge later. That's the end of this Let's Read of Ready Player One. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this far. Do not forget that next week we are starting our new book, which is The Seventh Bride by T. Kingfisher. Go out and grab it by any legal means necessary. Borrow it from a friend. Borrow it from a library. Buy it from a bookstore. Do anything that you need to do in order to get this by legal means. I have been the purple-haired doofus reminding you to watch your Pajama Radius. And I will see you all in the brand new read-through of The Seventh Bride by T. Kingfisher. Toodles!